Mu Lan forced a smile. She was so nervous. She said, "Not everyone's, Ms. Moore." Ms. Moore smiled and said, "Yes, you are right." Slowly she turned towards Mu Lan and then suddenly grabbed her hands and exclaimed, "Oh! My dear Lan, I'm so proud of your work. You exceeded my expectation. We should take it to the department." Ms. Moore let go of her hand and dashed to the department with the painting. Mu Lan was still in daze. What just happened? Soon, the entire department saw her work and praised her hardworking. One teacher said, "When I first saw her, I knew she was an amateur. It must be because she is a born artist. That's why she easily coped with us." Another teacher said, "She is even as good as Ms. Moore. It sure is her talent." Another teacher said, "Ms. Moore is lucky to have such a disciple. She definitely won't let her go. I envy her." There was another teacher who said, "I want her as my disciple." He was wearing a glass. His sharp eyes were looking at the painting. Another teacher laughed and said, "Good luck with that." The head of the department brought Dean Andrew Smith. The department head said excitedly, "Look, Andrew, the girl you enrolled in our school nailed her assignment. Take a look." Dean Andrew Smith frowned. He was busy with some work and his longtime friend forced him to come to the department. Feeling annoyed, he looked at the picture and his expression changed. "Who did this?" He was so stunned that his question sounded like exclaim. "Ms. Moore dragged Mu Lan in the front and happily said, "It's my favorite disciple." Andrew Smith's eyes nearly popped out. "Madam Mu!" he exclaimed in mind. He couched and said, "She is exceptional." What he said was the truth. She, after all, caught that man by her charm. He looked at Mu Lan and smiled lightly while saying, "Good job." Dean Andrew Smith was told not to mention her background. So he didn't say any more. Mu Lan thanked him. She was relieved that Dean didn't say anything more. Ms. Moore said, "Dear Lan, as I'm not going to the ball, as my disciple, I want you to attend." She gave Mu Lan a blue invitation card. "You worked hard. This is your reward." Mu Lan felt embarrassed. She was never been in this situation, not after she woke up. "Thank you, Ms. Moore, but I can't accept blue card. It's for the teachers," she said. Apparently, there were 3 types of invitation cards. Golden-colored card was for the guests. Blue-colored card was for the teachers, faculty deans, principal, and chairman. Red one was for the students. The head of the department said, "Don't see it as an invitation card. See it as your teacher's blessing." Mu Lan was ashamed for her narrow thoughts and thanked Ms. Moore while she took the invitation card. One teacher said, "Hey, I got a plan. Don't show it to the students. We should hide it after framing. We won't decide a price for it. Let's have an auction for this painting. The money will go to the charity fund either way. After the ball, we'll let the journalist students handle the fame of our department." Dean Andrew Smith said, "That's a good idea. But I need the principal's permission." "I'll get it." He left. Ms. Moore looked at Mu Lan and said, "What type of frame do you want?" Mu Lan replied, "Wooden frame, and it will be better if the frame is colored in golden. I also want to put some stones." Ms. Moore smiled and said, "Fine then. You should go and take a rest. You look tired." Mu Lan thanked everyone and left. With a happy heart and light mind she went to the dorm. She went to the 2nd floor and saw Yen Su was waiting for her. "How long have you been waiting?" Mu Lan asked. "If you find any errors, ads pop-up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible." Chapter 144. Chapter 144, Did you make a move on her? How long have you been waiting? Mu Lan asked. Not too long. I saw you from the balcony. Yan Su looked at her thoroughly. You are a mess. Mu Lan unlocked and opened the door. She said, yeah, I know. I forgot to comb my hair. That's not the point. Your hair is silk and it is in a good shape. I'm talking about this dot. Yan Su pointed out the place with her eyes. Noticing her gaze, Mu Lan looked down. OMG. I'm wearing slippers. And I went in the department with that appearance. Thank goodness that everyone's focus was on the painting. Mu Lan took off her slippers and wore another one. She pulled her hair up and made a bun. Yan Su looked at her in a daze. Then she suddenly smirked. Rough night, huh? Mu Lan looked at her and said, I painted whole night. My head is hurting. Yan Su's smile broadened. She asked in a flirty tone, Are you sure, honey? Well, I think something else kept you awake all night. Mu Lan frowned at her words and said, very funny. Yan Su coughed and said, I thought you did it intentionally but. What is it? Mu Lan lost her patience. Yan Su scratched her own neck and didn't say anything. Mu Lan found it suspicious. She went in front of the mirror and saw 2 red hickeys. Damn Liang. How could he do that? And I went to the department like this. It is worse than the slippers. I will not forgive him for that. Mu Lan was in rage. She grabbed the concealer cream and put it on her skin. Yan Su rose her right eyebrow. Is she mad? Her knight in shining armor is so screwed. She thought. Mu Lan opened the freeze and took out last night's dishes. Oh my god. Epicure dish. Yan Su exclaimed in surprise. No wonder she had love bites. She had a romantic date last night. Mu Lan looked at her and asked, Want some? Definitely. Yan Su grinned. Epicure's dishes were well known. Mu Lan warmed the food and they ate together. While eating, Mu Lan told Yan Su that she was going to attend the ball. Congratulations! It's great that all 4 of us can join. We were feeling bad that you could not join us. Xiaoying was feeling the worst. She made a dress especially for you. Yan Su was very excited. Really? But why did she do that? Mu Lan was surprised. Yan Su explained. Xiaoying said that she made dresses for me in Shuelin. So she would design a dress for you too. You could wear it any time you want. Mu Lan's heart filled with warmth. She found herself a good friend like Qiying. Yan Su asked, We have 14 days left. What do you want to do? Mu Lan cleaned the table and replied, I'll help others if they need it. Yan Su nodded. Last few days will be the hardest. As Mu Lan said, she dedicated herself to help others in need. Most of the time, she worked with the interior designers. She wanted to work with her classmates but their representative and Don didn't let her do that. She was sort of annoyed. At first Mu Lan wasn't bothered by An's proud and mighty behavior. But day by day, An was making her uncomfortable. These days, Mu Liang called and messaged Mu Lan multiple times. Mu Lan ignored him. Mu Liang was upset and worried. He sent Hugo to investigate. Hugo sighed. He already explained to his boss that young Miss was helping others. But his boss wouldn't listen. So Hugo had no choice but to ask young Miss directly. And what did Mu Lan say? She said, Tell him to control himself. Zero romance experienced Hugo went to Mu Mansion and directly told his master what exactly young Miss said. Mu Liang turned gloomy. Lu Feng was present that time. He smiled and asked, Did you make a move on her? Mu Liang didn't reply him and his face was solemn. What actually Mu Liang could do? He was holding back. Yet Mu Lan approached her in her drunken state. Now that they don't see each other often, he felt absolute loneliness. So he couldn't control himself when he saw her painting. He also couldn't control himself when she was about to leave him. Before his mind worked, his hands moved on their own. Feng never saw the demon acting like sulking child. Dude, are you for real? He dared not to voice out his thought. Just then Feng entered the room. He exclaimed in happiness, "Big brother, I don't have to order for our ball. Ing designed 2 costumes for us. Have a look." He gave Mu Liang his packet. Mu Liang found a note on the costume. He read it and felt relaxed. Feng said, "Ing knows my measurement." "But how does she know yours?" Boss told her. Assistant Zhu Long replied. He was also there. Feng frowned. He complained, "Why did you overwork Ing? You cannot do that. I thought you would be happy." "Who knew?" Mu Liang sighed. He said to his assistant, "Call Qi-Ying and tell her that her boyfriend is upset after getting her design costume." Zhu Long immediately tapped his cell phone and said, "Yes, boss." No. You guys are wrong. I was just making jokes, that's all, ha." Feng hurriedly left. Feng and Zhu Long sighed. Only he can handle his childish brother. Both of them thought the same. 14 days flew away in a glimpse. Underscore 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 underscore. I had a terrible experience. When I was writing in the dark on my bed, something moved on my leg. I jerked my leg and turned on the light. Finding a little cockroach on the floor, I killed it. Feeling relaxed and sat on the bed and found a large one just walking towards me on the bed. Thank God that I didn't scream in the middle of the night. I wanted to get off, but my leg got tangled with bed cover and I fell down. Ah! My knees hurt so much. TT. The large cockroach fell on the floor, then I didn't know what happened. Then whole night, the light was turned on. Eyes closed, face. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 145. Chapter 145, The Evening Ball. Paris. Evening. The weather was sweet cold. It was comforting. In the Pierre and Marie Curie University, the ball had started. The guests started to enter the ballroom. The principal and the deans of faculties welcomed them. The room was round. The wall was dyed in cream color. The open curtains were red color. The decorative lights were illuminating golden hue. The floor was shining. There was no a single spot on the white floor. In the middle of the ceiling, there was a huge ancient chandelier which was glittering. It was gorgeous than anything else. Because of the huge closed windows, the cold wind could enter the ball. So inside the large room was warm. The ballroom was decorated with art painting and statues. There were price tags on them and also a name tags of the artifacts. The music students were playing waltz. They were all wearing formal dresses. The students who were moderating the ball were on the second floor. They were calm and collected. Their sharp eyes didn't miss anything. The guests were talking to each other. They were all from high-class society. On the east side, on the big table, there were a lot of pastries and snacks. The waiters, who were also students, were serving red wine and champagne. The whole environment was royal and grand. The representatives came one by one and introduced themselves. They greeted their teachers and the guests. Everyone was talking and smiling, but no one forgot their manners. Mu Lan came in the ball. Hua Lan, Xi Ying and Yen Su were already in the ball. Hua Lan wasn't used to in this type of environment. So she became extremely rigid. Mu Lan also wasn't used to party, and none of the faces were familiar. So she didn't know what to do except eating pastries with Hua Lan. However, she was more relaxed than Hua Lan was. It took 5 minutes for Hua Lan to relax. She told herself continuously, they are all human beings. None of them was ghosts or goblins. So it's fine. When she became relaxed, she went to her own world and didn't feel bothered. Mu Lan wore a red gown with cream and golden color design. The golden red sleeves covered her hands. It was a low-cut gown. On her neck, a simple golden chain was hanging with a ruby locket. A pair of ruby was hanging on her ears close to her neck with a pair of thin golden chains. Her hair was tied up on the back of her head. Few golden sticks were decorated on the bun. Few locks were hanging on the both sides of her face. She wore a light makeup and red lipstick. Black eyeliner made her eyes extra eye-catching. The principal called Hua Lan to join him. He wanted to show his guests his talented student. Lonely Mu Lan looked around to find a certain person who had no restraint. She took a glass of wine and wandered randomly. Many men and women looked at her with curiosity. The men looked at her in amazement while women felt jealous. Suddenly a ball became quiet. People started to look at the entrance. Feeling strange, Mu Lan also looked at the entrance and her eyes halted. There were 2 men who were being greeted by the principal and the chairman. Those 2 handsome men were none other than Mu Liang and Mu Feng. Mu Lan looked at Mu Liang's outfit. Just like everyone, Mu Liang was wearing a costume of 18th century's royal outfit. His costume was white with red and golden design. Like others, his hair was tied on the back and added an extra brown hair just like then French people. He looked ever so gorgeous. Girls couldn't help but get excited. Mu Lan found the design of his very familiar. She frowned and looked at her own dress. Her face became slight red. She realized who designed Mu Liang's costume. Xi Ying was practically announcing Mu Liang and Mu Lan's relationship. Mu Lan felt shy and moved away. Mu Feng found his dear wife the moment he entered the ball. The girls crowded around 2 brothers. He gave them a sweet smile and then slipped past them to meet his partner. Just like Mu Lan and Mu Liang, Xi Ying and Mu Feng's outfits were designed in the same way with royal blue and silver color. Those who were in love with Mu Feng's charm all understood the meaning and felt broken heart. So they planned to capture Mu Liang's heart. They all came to him and tried to talk to him. Mu Liang's eyes turned as cold as Siberia and treated them like germs. A moment ago he spotted Mu Lan, and for these women he lost them. He walked towards the place he saw her and found her in a glimpse. He walked fast and stopped in front of Mu Lan. Mu Lan halted in surprise. Her heart raced. She felt a little happy and he found her, but she remembered that she was acting being angry at him. So she ignored him, saying excuse me. But with whom she was doing it? Didn't she know? Mademoiselle, may I have the honor to dance with you? A deep voice rang. Mu Lan's heart shook. It had been a while since she heard his voice. His voice was like magnet. Subconsciously she turned around. She saw Mu Liang was bowing and his right hand was extended towards her. People were gathering around them. Mu Lan didn't have the heart to disrespect him in front of many people. With courtesy, she bowed and placed her left hand on his. Mu Liang's eyes shone in the golden light. When the musicians saw that a dance was about to start, they immediately changed their music and began to play André Rieu's ballad Pour Adeline. As the music started, Mu Liang took the lead and took Mu Lan close to him. He placed his left hand on her right palm and intertwined their hands. His right hand was on her slender back. Mu Lan put her left hand on his right shoulder nervously. They danced under the ancient chandelier. When they started to dance, others were also inspired and the men asked their partner for dance. Soon 20 couples joined Mu couple. Mu Feng also took Qiang on the dance floor. Mu Liang felt Mu Lan's stiff body and said in a low tone, "Follow my lead. Then you won't make any mistake." Mu Lan followed his footsteps as she got used to it. She understood the pattern and danced naturally. She never once spoke to Mu Liang. He realized that she was still mad at him, but she didn't want him lose face, so she agreed to dance. Mu Liang smiled slightly and his eyes filled with warmth. He lowered his face close to her right ear and said in his deep voice, "I'm sorry for troubling you that night. Please don't be mad at me anymore." His deep pleading voice melted Mu Lan's heart. Her heart beat crazily. Her face turned red as she said, "It's fine. You don't have to apologize." Mu Liang hugged her closer as mischievousness flashed in his eyes. In an instant, Mu Lan understood that was a trick of his. She once again fell into his trap. Mu Lan got mad. She tried to move away from him, but Mu Liang didn't let her go an inch. He said, "If you try to leave, I'll kiss you in front of everyone." Then he paused a little and continued, "A French kiss." Mu Lan froze on the spot. "I don't believe it." She glared at him and said no more, neither did she struggle. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 146, Dear Cousin. Chapter 146, Dear Cousin. At the ball, Tchaikovsky's The Nutcracker was being played. Mu Liang and Mu Lan were dancing on the third music. Mu Liang kept recalling the night on the Seine River in their boat. They were dancing on the waltz, alone. Remembering that night, his eyes heated. But he controlled himself so well that Mu Lan couldn't find anything. When they were dancing, they were looking at each other's eyes. It felt like that they were on their own world. Their intertwined hands were warm. Mu Liang's right, which was on her back, was warm enough to make her feel that. Her dress wasn't thin, but she could feel that his hot hands' warmth against her back, and it spread her whole body. As their bodies were too close, they could sense each other's breaths. Mu Lan's face gradually became hot. She felt extremely shy. She wanted to look away. However, Mu Liang's ocean blue eyes captivated her, so she couldn't. Women around them were burning in jealousy. They cursed Mu Lan. On the contrary, men were offended. They wanted to dance with Mu Lan, especially the young generation. The old generation wanted to have a chance to talk to her and make her agree to marry their grandchildren. But Mu Liang danced with her 3 times already and had no wish to leave her be. Those who knew Mu Liang, they were utterly shocked seeing him dancing with a woman. They thought that either they were hallucinating or they were still dreaming and didn't wake up. Because Mu Liang never even tried to get close to women, let alone touch them. Now he was dancing handsomely. Mu Lan and Mu Liang danced till the music ended. Looking at Mu Lan's tired face, Mu Liang took her in the food section. "Eat some fruits." Mu Liang gave her a plate and some fruits. "I'm not hungry." Mu Lan could sense that people were watching them. "You look thinner than before. You worked too hard. Have some fruit custard." Mu Liang didn't look anywhere and all his attention was towards the girl beside him. Mu Lan didn't argue with him and obediently ate. "You look beautiful." All of a sudden, Mu Liang blurted out. Mu Lan almost choked. She still had food on her mouth. Her face was flushed red. Mu Liang handed her a glass of water. "Drink it," he said worriedly. Mu Lan drank a mouthful water. Mu Liang asked, "Are you all right?" Mu Lan complained with her red face, "Whose fault is that?" After a moment she asked, "Did you tell Xiaoying to design more costume in same style?" "It's business. Xiang needs to earn money." After she refused to listen to her father, he cut ties with her. Now she had to pay for her tuition. "I ordered her with money in exchange of costume for us in Feng," Mu Liang said. Mu Lan thought so after she saw his and Mu Feng's outfits. She was relieved that someone was backing Qiang. After Yan Su told Mu Lan and Shui Lin about Qiang's family problem, she was worried about Qiang. Mu Lan asked, "Can't Mu Feng take her responsibility?" Mu Liang shook his head, "She is too proud for that." When this Mu couple were talking about second Mu couple, Mu Feng and Qiang were in the balcony. Mu Feng hugged her close to him. He said, "The moon is so bright tonight." Qiang smiled in his arms. Her smile was ever so sweet in the night of the ball. Mu Feng was looking at her face with affection. Seeing her smile, his mind went blank. He couldn't help kissing her deeply. Qiang's eyes became larger in shock. When she realized what just happened, her body trembled. She tried to push him away but in vain. She was always so shy and mild. She never liked crowd. So it was hard for her to have such an intimate moment in the public place. When Qiang couldn't stop her boyfriend, she stomped him foot with all her might. In an instant, Mu Feng let go. He was shocked by the surprised attack from his beloved. He didn't take time to recover from the shock. Just then he realized his mistake. But that moment, Qiang wasn't by his side. Panicked, Mu Feng ran towards her. In the corridor, he chased after her from behind. He was too distracted to watch his surroundings. A beautiful golden heel shoe tripped him. As he fell down on the floor, he heard a sultry laughter. "Chasing after you wife after eating her, dear cousin? You are such a dog," the beautiful lady in golden gown said. Her voice was full of amusement. Mu Feng gritted his teeth. He growled, "Damn you Yan Su, If you find any errors, ads pop-up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible." Chapter 147, Men Are My Prey. Chapter 147, Men Are My Prey. When Mu Feng stood up, Qiang was nowhere to be seen. Mu Feng sighed. He took out his cell phone and dialed her number. Seeing that her cousin was ignoring her, Yan Su rose her eyebrow. She once again tried to trip Mu Feng. Mu Feng already had his lesson. When he saw a slender and firm leg was flying towards him, he caught it easily and didn't let go. Yan Su was in the most uncomfortable position while wearing a heavy gown. "Stay like that for 5 minutes. It is a punishment to try to knock out you elder brother," Mu Feng said like an elder brother. "Curse you," Yan Su hissed. Mu Feng sighed. "You'll never get a boyfriend if you behave like a wild princess. A princess should be gentle." He was looking at his phone screen. Qiang didn't answer his call. Yan Su smiled in an alluring way. "I don't need a man, dear cousin. I need lots of man. One man cannot satisfy my hunger. Men are my prey." Her eyes glinted. Mu Feng shuddered at her gaze. He knew since his childhood that Yan Su always looked at the boys like a hunter. Men always thought themselves as the strongest. So she used them as her punching sandbag and always shattered men's so-called pride of being strongest. Those who was once her prey, they never came in front of her before. Losing against her was their biggest humiliation. But the boys couldn't complain to their families or her family. Yan Su was the third child and only daughter of Jin family. Her parents and elder two brother pampered her way too much. She had bodyguards since she was a child. She started to admire her bodyguards and requested her father that she wished to become stronger like those bodyguards. Mr. Jin was also a build man. As usual, her request was granted. Yan Su started to train since she was 5. Since then, whenever she found a man tried to act like a hero, she knocked them down. She was the only female and cousin of Mu Liang and Mu Feng who acted as wild as them. She was arrogant and proud, but her heart full of justice. Once she beat a boy nearly to death when he kicked his own old mother. That was a bloody scene. It was the first time Mu Feng saw his beautiful cousin full of viciousness. She always believed one thing: a man is not a man who does not respect a woman who should be respected. Yan Su conquered many men and made them feel coward and hateful. However, Yan Su never won against Mu Feng, and that's why she hated his arrogance. Mu Feng frowned. "Stop acting like a child. You are not a kid anymore. Don't make Andine worry too much." Yan Su's eyes softened. As usual, she loved her mother the most. She said, "Mom is fine. She is going to Italy to meet elder uncle next week. Does Grandpa know? He will definitely be happy to see his only daughter." Mu Feng softly said. Elder Mu Chen always loved his well-mannered, ladylike daughter. His only regret was Yan Su didn't get her mother's personality, since he had a high expectation that his daughter's daughter would be just like her mother. To break his heart, after Yan Su was born, when the elder Mu took her in his arms, she kicked his chin. How many people had the guts to kick the mighty elder of the Mu family? Even Mu Liang was a gentle child. However, Mu Feng slapped his grandpa the moment elder Mu took newborn Feng from his wife's hands. After getting a kick from newborn Yan Su, instantly his face became dark. He then realized that his beloved granddaughter had the personality of the men of Mu family. She wasn't a princess of a fairy tale. She was a tigress. Elder Mu was really mortified that after his wife and daughter's princess personality came to a dead end. His other son's daughters were just disgusting. He advised her daughter Mu Yin to have another child, but, in the end, Yin became physically weak to have another child. Yan Su replied, "Yeah, Mom called Grandpa." He was flying in the air when he heard that she was going to visit. "But before that, I just need to clarify something. That's why I came to find you in the first place." Mu Feng let go of her leg and said, "Speak. What's the deal with elder cousin? He never comes to a party when a single woman is invited. Today, he shocked me to death by dancing with my friend Lan." Yan Su or any cousin in the Mu family never called Mu Liang by his name. They always called his as elder cousin. Mu Feng knew Mulan's friend circle zone, so he wasn't surprised when Yan Su thought Mulan as her friend. As Yan Su was the part of the family, it wasn't inappropriate to tell her about Mulan's new identity. Therefore Mu Feng blurted out, "Your friend is actually your future elder cousin-in-law." Yan Su's first thought was she heard him wrong. 10 times she recalled Mu Feng's last sentence. Then she came to realize what she just heard. Her eyes almost popped out of her sockets. Her face was full of surprise and disbelief. However, looking at Mu Feng's serious face, it was hard not to believe. She said in mockery, "Ha, cousin, today is not even April Fool. She is already registered in Mu family. Her full name is Mu Lan." She wanted to hide her identity because it would attract many people. He paused and then continued, "I believe, she never told you her family name, right?" At this time, Yan Su's head stopped working. It was hard for her to breathe. How could she believe that the cousin who was cold and distant since she first saw him and acted like he was asexual, suddenly got himself a beauty who was going to be his wife? The thing she believed about her elder cousin since she was a child was completely ruined by her second cousin. "I think my head is spinning," she said. Mu Feng wanted to say something but interrupted by Mu Liang's call. Mu Feng answered the call. What is it, big brother? It seems like Hua Lan's painting is going to be auctioned. Come quickly. Mu Liang hung up after he finished. Auction of painting? Never happened in my school before. It must be worth watching. Mu Feng got excited. He texted Qiang and dragged his cousin inside the ballroom. If you find any errors, ads pop-up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 148, The Painting. Chapter 148, The Painting. When Mu Feng and Yan Su arrived and painting was already presented. But it was still covered with a red silk cloak. Mu Feng found his elder brother and stood beside him. He saw a bidding card in Mu Liang's hand. Where is sister-in-law? Mu Feng asked. She went to fix her makeup. Mu Liang replied. What did you do? Mu Feng asked curiously. Made her finish her dinner. Mu Liang shortly replied. That wasn't what Mu Feng was imagining. What he was thinking, no need to further explain. The representative of Fine Arts and Dawn was the announcer. She gave everyone a dazzling smile. She said, Ladies and gentlemen, this is our last surprise from the Department of Fine Arts. This painting, the most remarkable piece in our school history. Let me introduce you to the painting named Desire. She ordered one of the organizers to reveal the painting. Everyone waited patiently and inquisitively as the cloak fell from the art piece. The moment the cloak fell, the painting came to vision. At first, the guests only looked at the work of watercolor. The frame of the painting was colored in golden. It was decorated with eye-catching glittering jewels. However, no one was attracted to that stunning rectangle frame. People found something more eye-grabbing than that. It was the painting itself. The art piece's background was brown. In the center of the painting, there was a golden throne. It was situated in a high black marble stone. The color was too deep to know where it started and where it ended. It was full of mystery. It was formal, sexy, and secretive. It signified power and control. It looked unfriendly and intimidating. The stone was slippery. If someone wanted to sit on the throne, they could never be able to do that. There were men who were trying to climb up to sit on the throne. They knew that the one who could climb there could control the whole universe. Their eyes were filled with desire, ambition, and viciousness when they imagined themselves on the throne. They stretched their hands and tried to climb before others. The more they tried and failed, the more they became vicious. It wasn't the end. The main part of this mysterious piece was the person who was sitting on the throne. An enticing, charming lady who looked about 24 years old, was elegantly sitting on the golden throne. She was fully naked as she sat on the throne gracefully, just like a queen. But her right leg was over the left leg. It seemed bold and arrogant at the same time. She had long red weave hair. It touched the black marble stone. Her weavy hair represented her passion, courage, strength, and power. Over her unruly red hair, there was a golden crown which glittered the most valuable jewels of the universe. They were red, orange, yellow, pink, blue, green, violet, brown, gray, and black. Red jewel symbolized her love for the person who owned her, power and strength, while orange symbolized encouragement, yellow optimism, pink sensitivity and femininity, blue trust, tranquility, serenity and peace, green growth and good health, violet spirituality and luxury, brown stability, gray compromise, and black symbolized mystery. Because of her red hair, her velvet skin, which was creamy in complexion, was very noticeable. It was soft and endearing. There was no marks. It was never touched by anyone and it was pure. She had a bewitching smile hanging on her warm lips. The men under the marble stone became crazy looking at her entrancing smile. She had a sharp nose. But something of her exhibited her feelings for those men under her. Her majestic purple eyes were neither sharp nor gentle. However, her eyes were filled with mockery. Human beings' innermost feeling was to control others. No matter how powerless or penniless he was, he loved to control other when the other one was weaker than him. It was in his blood. The girl on the throne symbolized power to control everything. She was pure and was never been in touch with 7 deadly sins. She had everything and she got everything from the person who created her. The person was God. She pledged her loyalty to him. So when those people created by the Creator tried to take power by force, she smiled thinking how stupid they were. Men could control over the earth and could rule over. However, neither the nature nor the other planets and stars did listen to them. Which meant, even though they could slightly taste her by looking at her, they could never have her fully. This was how Mu Liang showed human beings' innermost desire through her watercolor painting nakedly and vividly. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 149, So Hateful. Chapter 149, So Hateful. And Dawn described the picture to the guests. The whole ball was silent. After few seconds, someone started to clap loudly. It was Mu Feng. Hearing his loud clap, others broke from their astonishment and clapped as well. The whole room filled with the sound of claps. Everyone was praising such beautiful masterpiece. And Dawn smiled sweetly towards the people in front and her heart filled with bitterness. That be asterisk 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 asterisk. Who does she think she is? A mere artist came out of nowhere. She got really lucky to have Chi Princess and Jin Princess as her friends. They gave her dress and few jewelry and she thought that she became a queen. How dare is she to take the spotlight away from me? She also dared to dance with the handsome man I set my eyes on. How hateful! And cursed Mu Liang with all her might and her heart filled with jealousy. The guests wanted to see the artist. They started to question the teachers. However, apart from the teachers of Fine Arts Department and Dean Andrew Smith, no one knew about the real identity of the artist, not even the principal. There was another person who knew about it. That was Mu Liang. And he called Mu Feng about it, so Mu Feng also realized that the breathtaking painting was done by his one and only sister-in-law. He excitedly whispered to Yen Su, sister-in-law, painted it. Yen Su was still not used to this sister-in-law and cousin-in-law thing. She asked in amazement, did Lan painted this? She already knew the answer but still she had to ask. So that's why her teacher gave her the invitation card. Soon the bidding started. Mu Liang gave the bidding card to Mu Feng and said, but this painting. Then he strode out. Mu Liang went to washroom and fixed her makeup. After she finished, she was about to leave. That's when Hua Lan came inside. Mu Liang stopped at the track. You are busy tonight, she said with a smile. Hua Lan stood in front of the mirror and said, so are you. She was straightforward as always. Mu Liang didn't mind, because she was used to the way Hua Lan talked. Mu Liang blushed a bit at her words. She said, it's not like that. Hua Lan asked, is he your boyfriend? He got quite attentions from everyone. In these 2 months, Mu Liang got to know Hua Lan more than ever. She could tell that she could trust Hua Lan. Hua Lan was a loyal person. So Mu Liang didn't want to lie to her. My would-be husband. We will be engaged after 4 months. Mu Liang replied honestly. Hua Lan was taking care of her hair. Hearing Mu Liang's answer, she glanced at the girl in red. She kept looking at her for a few minutes. Then glanced back at the mirror. Hua Lan asked, do you love him? Mu Liang was startled by the unexpected question. Her mind went blank. Love? Do I? She didn't know. Not getting the answer, Hua Lan said, Let me rephrase it then, do you like him? Mu Lan still didn't know what to say. After a while she replied, I do trust him. Hua Lan took a glance at her and after that she replied, yeah, you should. You should also love him with all you have. Mu Lan didn't get her. Her IQ seemed not work when it came to Mu Liang. Hua Lan fixed her hair and turned to Mu Lan. She said, not everyone can have a rich, handsome, caring and loyal husband. You should consider yourself lucky. She pet Mu Lan's shoulder and smiled lightly. It was rare for her to smile. Afterwards, she left Mu Lan alone on the washroom. While Mu Lan stood there in daze. And Don was pretty upset when the painting was sold in $3 million. The bidder was none other than Mu Feng. Frustrated, she went to the balcony and found something intimating. Quickly she hid herself behind the pillar and picked at the couple. No sooner had she saw them, her heart had filled with extreme jealousy. Mu Liang was hugging Mu Lan closely to his heart and his lips were on her head. The couple were too busy to notice other. Mu Liang asked, are you happy? Mu Lan was shy to answer. So she nodded. It is really a wonderful painting. Mu Liang said. Thank you. Mu Lan softly said. I'll make your own studio in our home. You will paint there whatever you want. Mu Liang said dotingly. Don't waste money. Mu Lan hesitated. It's nothing. There is a storeroom beside your room. I'll tell Uncle Leo to clean it for you. Mu Liang said. What do you think? Mu Liang asked. Okay. Mu Lan said. She understood that as he already did the plan, he would do it. He wanted to do it for her. Mu Lan was satisfied with the outcome. She liked it when Mu Liang praised her. She also liked it when he wanted to decorate a studio for her. If I like the way he acts, then does it mean that I like him? Mu Lan blushed as she was being hugged. And Dawn gritted her teeth. Something burnt inside her. Her face turned ugly and she left the balcony. They are already in this way. This S***T seduced him just with 3 dances. She is no ordinary girl. I underestimated her. I shouldn't have been so nice to her from the very beginning. Actually, from the very beginning, the moment Mu Lan entered the class and disliked her. And was a beauty whom everyone adored. She got used to being praised and getting the spotlight. However, Mu Lan's charm and intelligence as well as her mysterious background made her popular in a week. A proud and arrogant girl liked and could not take it. To her, there should be only one female lead. Another one had to be a villain. Therefore, Dawn decided that only she could say in her class, not Mu Lan. However, could see that Mu Lan was very sly to take a man in her first meet. In Anne's eyes Mu Lan looked very experienced in her age. Underscore 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 underscore. Just got home. I wrote this chapter all day on the road. After I take a bath, I'm going to write next chapter. Then I'm dead. ZZZ. If you find any errors, ads pop-up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 150, Danger Approaching. Chapter 150, Danger Approaching. And Dawn was planning to get rid of her mortal enemy. Scheming in mind, she went to the garden. The garden was dark and quiet. The night was cool. The cold breeze blew in the garden. Anne shivered. She didn't know why she got sudden chill. She stood there alone and recalled the hugging couple. Her body shook in disgust. She started to curse Mu Liang again. While she was bad-mouthing, she heard a rustling sound. It seemed like someone was walking beside the bushes. "Who is there?" And Dawn asked loudly with a voice of authority. The rustling sound stopped and no one appeared before her. The night became silent again. Feeling a little scared, Anne turned back. She wished to leave the garden as soon as possible. For some reason, she found this rather scarier than usual. Just then a strong arm captured her. Startled, she wanted to scream but another hand covered her mouth. The man who grabbed her had a muscled body. He had too much strength in his hands. And almost lost conscience for the lack of oxygen. And Dawn's heart turned cold in fear. She wanted to scream and struggled to break free. The man put a sharp knife close to her neck and threatened her, "Don't scream or else I'll slit your throat." His voice was absolutely cold, making her feel chill down to her spine. Anne was too scared to notice that the man sounded different from local. He was using French but it wasn't fluent. Feeling the sharp cold metal on her neck, Anne immediately stopped struggle. But she was so afraid that her body started to shake. The man was amused by her reaction. To him, she looked like a mouse. Feeling disgusted, he whispered in cold voice, "Do you know Chiang?" "Ha!" So it was about her. And immediately turned normal as she talked in her mind. She came to realize that the man would do no harm to her. She relaxed her body and her head began to work as usual. And nodded her head as she answered him yes silently. The man seemed to be satisfied by her answer and said, "Listen lady, I want to meet her. Can you show me where she is? I can't recognize her as everyone is wearing ancient outfits. You are threatening me and ordering me as you pleased. You never begged or said please. So why should I listen to you? I'll show you the wrong person." Something clicked on Anne's head. Her eyes shimmered in the night. Wrong person. Wrong indeed. Mu Liang was hugging Mu Liang and smelled her vanilla scent. As he enjoyed her touch, his mobile chimed. Someone actually dared to call. Annoyed, he wanted to ignore but Mu Liang moved away from him. She signaled him to answer the call shyly. Seeing her red face, Mu Liang smiled a little and his eyes filled with warmth. He received the call and talked a little bit. Then he hung up and looked at her. "Your principal is looking for me. Let's go inside together," Mu Liang suggested. Mu Liang shook her head and said, "I want to stay here longer." "You can go." She smiled softly. Mu Liang was still not ready to announce her relationship with Mu Liang, so wanted to stay in the limelight. Of course Mu Liang understood her well. He hugged her tightly and showered her face with kisses. Then he said her to be careful and went inside. Mu Liang's heart raced and her face was on fire. She was still not used to with his passionate kisses no matter how much he did it. She walked in the garden absent-mindedly as she tried to sort out her feelings for Mu Liang. She looked at the sky. It was dark and cloudy. Mu Liang hoped to see the stars. Unfortunately she couldn't. She sighed and looked the ballroom. It looked beautiful from outside. She smiled in satisfaction as she thought about Mu Liang's praise. All of a sudden, someone grabbed her from behind. Before she could struggle, the man covered her mouth with a handkerchief. Mu Lan took breath without realizing and smelt a sweet smell. Then slowly she lost consciousness and collapsed in the man's arms. From a little far, and saw everything as a triumph smile was hanging on her face. She saw the man took Mu Lan out and vanished in the dark. Goodbye, Lan. Say your prayers now. From now on one is going to steal my place away. Anne's eyes were filled with viciousness. She turned around to move back at the ball. Just then, someone covered her mouth and injected a liquid in her neck. The person whispered in her right ear, "Whatever you saw today or heard, you will forget everything." It was that man, who wanted to know about Qing. The man ruthlessly threw Anne on the ground. Then he turned around and got mixed in the dark. Anne's whole body ached in pain. Before she could think of anything, she lost consciousness. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 151, Did she lecture you? Chapter 151, Did she lecture you? Hello beloved readers, yesterday I had a hard time. I'm sorry to torture you all like that. When I started to write the second chapter, I fell asleep. After 2 hours of dreaming I woke up and finished the rest of it. I didn't know what I wrote last night. Today, I edited the last 2 chapters. So before you read this chapter, please read 149 and 150 chapters. Enjoy. Underscore 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 dot. Mu Liang went to the ballroom reluctantly. He wanted to spend more time with Mu Lan. She was so cute when she shyly told him to go alone. His heart filled with warmth as he walked towards the principal. "Mr. Mu, thank you for coming all the way here. It's very unusual of you to join us in this type of events. This is the first time you joined us. We are honored to have you." The principal didn't have time to tell all that. When Mu Liang and Mu Feng came and the principal and the chairman went to greet the Mu brothers, they were shoved by the crazy ladies. The Mu Corporation had 30% share of this university, so the principal was bound to be good to Mu Liang. As usual, Mu Liang replied shortly. The principal heard rumors about Mu Liang treasuring his words like diamonds. So he didn't feel bad. He was already flying in the air when he saw Mu Liang come with his younger brother Mu Feng. "Mr. Mu, you must be hungry." It seemed Mr. Mu Feng already was having his meal. "So please have dinner with us. It is nothing more joyous than you having meal with us," the chairman said. Mu Liang would decline if it were other people. However, they were the principal and the chairman of his wife's school. And moreover, he already fed Mu Lan her dinner. So he had nothing to worry about. Therefore, Mu Liang nodded to have meal. The chairman and the principal were overwhelmed. They took Mu Liang in the private room. Mu Feng found Qing on the corner talking to Hua Lan. He went over. Qing wasn't upset anymore. She saw Mu Feng coming closer. She waved her hand. Mu Feng sighed in relief. Mu Feng stood beside her and kept a distance. He had his lesson. Xi Ying looked at him. Surprised, she asked him, "Why did you buy that painting?" Mu Feng didn't know if Mu Lan told her friend Hua Lan about her and Mu Liang's relationship. But judging by her face, she could be trusted. Mu Feng replied, "Sister-in-law painted it. Big brother ordered me to own it no matter how much it cost." Hua Lan and Xi Ying looked at him in astonishment as they heard him. Xi Ying exclaimed, "It was Hua Lan. Unbelievable." Mu Feng smiled dotingly and said, "Do you think a normal woman would fit my big brother?" Xi Ying was startled and felt embarrassed. How could she underestimate the choice of Mu Liang? It was true, how could Mu Liang choose a girl who wasn't worthy of him? Hua Lan looked at those two. Her eyes became softer. This brother pair isn't bad. They are true to their lovers. What a woman need more than that? She thought. Xi Ying realized that Hua Lan was in front of them. She hurriedly said to change the topic, "Hua Lan, this is Mu Feng, my boyfriend." "Feng, it is Hua Lan, my friend and roommate. She is in psychology department. She also got the highest mark in the entrance exam." Mu Feng was stunned. This was the first time he saw Xi Ying talk about her relationship so openly. He looked at the thin white jade girl who was wearing a pink gold gown and her hair was tied up like a huge bun. Mu Feng found this face very similar. Suddenly he remembered, Hugo was tailing her one day and Mu Feng found out. Strange, Hugo never shows interest in girls. So why her? I have to find it out. Mu Feng bowed in courtesy and said with a dazzling smile, "It is a pleasure to meet you, Miss Lin. I heard about you from Ming many times before. You don't have to lie about knowing me." Hua Lan said flatly. Mu Feng was embarrassed as well as flabbergasted. How did she? Oh, Ing said that she was from psychology department. Man, she is scary. Xi Ying tried to hide her smile. She quickly changed the subject. "I'm very hungry. Let's eat together." She looked at Hua Lan and said, "Hua Lan, you also come." Hua Lan wanted to leave them alone but she didn't want to refuse Xi Ying. They stood beside the large table full of foods. They ate together and had drinks. Xi Ying excused herself as she went to take care of her makeup. She left Hua Lan with Mu Feng. Mu Feng never saw a girl in straight face in front of him. However, this girl seemed unaffected by his charm. It surprised him greatly and also he came to respect her. Maybe that's why Hugo came to like her. Let's find it out. He started the conversation. "Have we met before?" "It's the first time I saw you." Immediately Hua Lan cut him off. Unexpectedly, Hua Lan continued, "I should not say anything about your relationship with Xiaoying. But as a friend of her, I want to say a bit." "Sure, anything." Mu Feng quickly said. "Don't you dare to make her pregnant before you marry her. Whenever you two meet, she come to us in her worst condition. But she never complains. As the representative of her class, she has many responsibilities. Moreover, she does part-time jobs to earn tuition fees. She will never take your help no matter how many times you tell her to. So don't make it harder for her, if you love her." Hua Lan always wanted to tell those words the guy Xi Ying was dating. Today she got a chance to vent all she was holding back. Hua Lan took a deep breath and bade to goodbye before leaving. Soon, Xi Ying came with her makeup was fixed. She looked around and asked, "Where is Hua Lan?" Mu Feng was still stunned by the words Hua Lan left for him. By Xi Ying's question, he looked at her and replied, "She seems to hate me." Xi Ying looked at him in surprise. "Did she lecture you?" If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 152 Shiver in Fright. Chapter 152 Shiver in Fright. Xi Ying looked at him in surprise. "Did she lecture you?" How do you know? Mu Feng asked. She is always this way when she cares about us. She is a good friend. Xi Ying smiled. Indeed. Mu Feng said shortly. His heart almost turned cold after what Xue Ling just said. Did I really make her suffer? Why didn't she tell me that I made her body weak? Mu Feng knew that Xi Ying always hid her pain. But he wanted Xi Ying to share her pains with him. He needed some time to make her understand that. He wished to hug her, but it was public place and he got a good lesson already. He didn't want to anger her. That moment Mu Liang came to them. He had a sullen face. Have you seen Hua Lan? Mu Liang asked. Both Qi Ying and Mu Feng shook their heads. They were busy with each other and both of them saw Mu Lan and Mu Liang together dancing, eating, and going to balcony. Mu Liang bit his lips as he frowned. What's wrong? Mu Feng asked. It was unexpected to see his brother like that, after getting along with his wife. I can't find her. Mu Liang said in a calm tone. His mind and head were in mess. Try calling her. Mu Feng suggested. He also became a little nervous. I did. She didn't answer. Mu Liang said. Xi Ying said this time, she can't. Students are not allowed to bring cell phone. Mu Feng sighed in relief. Oh, so we didn't have to worry. Relax, big brother, it is not that sister-in-law vanished in the thin air. She probably is in the garden or somewhere else. Mu Liang understood what his younger brother said was logical. But his heart was unsettled. There you are. I have been looking for you everywhere, cousins. Yan Su came with a big smile. You look very happy. What happened? Mu Feng asked. I requested Dean Andrew Smith to let me write an article about the painting Desire. He agreed happily. If I write the article, Lan will sure become famous in no time. I wanted to tell that to Lan first. I looked for her everywhere. But I can't find her. Yan Su replied. Have you searched in the garden? Mu Feng asked. Cousin, when I mean everywhere, I mean everywhere. She noticed the temperature suddenly dropped around them. Feeling confused, she looked at Mu Liang, Mu Feng, and Xi Ying. What's wrong? She asked. Why Yan Su, Hua Lan is missing. Xi Ying stuttered. Yan Su frowned. What do you mean? If we don't find her, it must be because she went to dorm. Yan Su could not feel any danger. She didn't know about Mu Lan's past after all. Mu Liang said in a dark tone, then she would answer my call. If it were Mu Feng, Yan Su would tease. But it was the demon elder cousin, she would not dare to mock him. Yan Su politely said, Don't worry, elder cousin, I'm going to the dorm and check if she is there or not. She was about to leave, when Xue Lin came. Her white jade skin was paler than usual. She looked frightened and her body was shaking. That won't be necessary, she said in a mild tone. She tried to calm herself down. Yan Su grabbed Xue Lin to steady her. She asked worriedly, You look awful. What happened? Xue Lin had a hard time to reply. She used all her energy and said, I saw a person took Hua Lan and they disappeared in the dark. The expression of 4 listeners around her changed dramatically. Mu Liang grabbed one on Xue Lin's hand and said, What did you see? Mu Feng already took out his cell phone and dialed few numbers. Xue Lin said everything she knew. She was so nervous that she couldn't see everything properly. After Xue Lin threatened Mu Feng, she went to the balcony to have some fresh air. She looked at the sky. It was covered with clouds. She found it very gloomy. Feeling upset, she looked at the garden. Beside the entrance and the road to the ball, the garden was decorated with lights. But the other side of the garden was dark as night. Hua Lan found it very mysterious. She was thinking of color's psychological meaning. Just then she found a movement in the dark garden. Hua Lan had a good eyesight. She wore glasses to hide her eyes. She saw clearly that a black solitude covered Mu Liang's mouth and Mu Liang fainted. Mu Liang wore an exceptional gown. So it wasn't hard for Hua Lan who the girl was. It was Hua Lan's first time experience to see a person got abducted. Moreover, it was her friend. Before her head could give her a signal, the solitude took Mu Liang out of the place. Feeling dumbfounded, Hua Lan's body dragged her inside the ballroom. It was dark and the man was wearing black cloth. He fully covered his body. He had a body like you. That made me think that it was a guy. Hua Lan told Mu Liang. Mu Liang pulled Hua Lan's hand as he said in a cold tone, "Show me the way." Hua Lan had no time to think about the scary man who was dragging her. She was worried about Mu Liang's safety. She meekly said, "This way." Mu Feng told Yan Su to guard Qiying and he warned Qiying not to go alone anywhere. Understanding the situation, Qiying nodded and stayed with Yan Su. Mu Liang, Hua Lan, and Mu Feng walked in the dark. They walked fast. Soon Hugo joined them. Finally they reached the high wall of the school campus. Hua Lan gasped in fright. Mu Feng and Hugo secretly looked at Mu Liang. What they found, it made them shiver in fright. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 153, was it him? Chapter 153, was it him? When the four of them reached the wall, they saw Mu Liang's golden red gown was hanging on the wall. Didn't that mean that she was stripped when she was abducted? Mu Liang's eyes turned extremely cold. How could he acknowledge that some other man touched his wife, even stripped her? Was she all right? Hugo. Mu Feng curtly said. He wanted to handle the situation before his elder brother could burst out in flames. I'll check the security cameras, Hugo said. He wanted to find young Miss as soon as possible. Who knew what would happen if his boss would fire up? Call everyone from your team. Don't slack before you can find her, Mu Feng instructed. Hugo was the leader of the intelligent force. He would lay low to gather information. So he acted as Mu Liang's bodyguard. Wait. Mu Liang stopped them before they left. Both Mu Feng and Hugo looked at the way Mu Liang pointed. There was a note and it was pinned down with the dress. I am taking what belongs to me. It was a note made of cutting words from newspapers. Shivers went down Mu Liang's spine. Is it him? He thought. How is that even possible? Mu Liang looked at Hugo and ordered him, go and call your special intelligence team. Send your team to look for evidence in the garden. Then he looked at his brother, inform your team. Find her in 15 minutes. Mu Feng wanted to cry. He knew how grave the situation was. But finding her in 15 minutes? Hua Lan couldn't help them anymore. So she went back to the dorm with her ash face. She didn't want to trouble anyone. Therefore, she walked back alone. Mu Feng already called his team and he contacted the principal to get the permission to search the garden as well as the whole campus. For Mu Liang's safety, he didn't tell the principal the details. The principal gave Mu Feng full authority to search whatever he wanted. After getting the permission, Hugo checked the security cameras. He gritted his teeth because someone deliberately took the records and destroyed the surveillance system with the virus. But he wasn't an IT expert. He had to wait for his team members. In 10 minutes, the team came and started to work as they were instructed. The IT team tried to take down the virus. It took them 20 minutes to control the surveillance system. However, they only got fragmented files. They couldn't find any car or any video of the kidnapper who abducted Mu Lan. While they were looking for evidence, the special force found unconscious Anne. They took her in the medical van and inject some liquids to wake her up. After she woke up, no matter what they asked, she couldn't tell. More importantly, she couldn't remember how she ended up in the garden in the first place. Feeling suspicious, the special force took her to the Lu Corporation to examine her. The medical team found out some sort of drug in her blood and reported that the drug was the reason for her memory loss. The special force couldn't find any evidence left by the kidnapper. It looked like the kidnapper wasn't someone from simple background. He was professional. Hugo wanted to screw his head for the lack of evidence and clues. He called Mu Feng. Hugo had no desire to face Mu Liang alone. Mu Feng was brainstorming his precious brain. He found out that the Li family was in peace. They had done no suspicious move recently. Mu Feng sent 5 spies in 4 years and they had been working profoundly. Mu Feng found no clue on the airport or the seaport. It was like Mu Lan vanished in the air. It was already 2 hours, but no one could give any satisfactory answer. Worried sick, Mu Feng headed to the company. Mu Liang was sitting in his room and kept reading the note. "I'm taking what belongs to me." In Mu Liang's eyes, that guy was never affectionate towards Mu Lan. He never cared for her. He even left her alone in Milan when she was all bloody. He didn't make a move back then and there was no option for him to do it now. Moreover, that guy could never find anything about her. Mu Liang made arrangement to clear her existence. However, that could only make that guy suspicious that Mu Lan would be alive. But without any evidence, that guy do nothing about her. If it wasn't him, who could it be? Mu Liang thought. He only hoped that Mu Feng could find anything. 2 hours later, when Mu Liang didn't get any news from Hugo and Mu Feng, he already knew their answers. Mu Liang was about to get up in frustration. That moment, Mu Feng and Hugo came. "Bad news, big brother," Mu Feng said in a sullen face. "If you find any errors, ads pop-up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible." Chapter 154, If She Regains Her Memory. Chapter 154, If She Regains Her Memory. "Bad news, big brother," Mu Feng said in a sullen face. Mu Liang looked at him without a word. His silent stare made Mu Feng even more uncomfortable. He hurriedly explained, "We searched every corner of this country. We have inspected the airport and the seaports. We have also checked the mountain trails thoroughly. We found nothing about sister-in-law." Seeing no reaction from his elder brother, Mu Feng elbowed Hugo to help him. Hugo said, "Also we kept eyes on our rivals and foes. Neither of them seemed to notice young Miss's existence. We have also kept eyes on Qi family. They seemed peaceful and cared nothing about second Miss." Hugo briefly told the whole searching process in 5 minutes. He was practically sweating. His boss was frightening enough and someone deliberately added fuel and fire. After Hugo finished reporting, there was a pin-drop silence in the room. In the next second, Mu Liang abruptly got up from the chair and with a crash sound, he punched his expensive table in one go and broke it into 2 pieces. Mu Feng and Hugo were terrified to death. Last time Mu Liang broke something was 9 months ago. After getting the news of Mu Lan's death injury, Mu Liang threw his mobile to the glass wall which shattered into pieces and so did the cell phone. After a while, Mu Liang said in the coldest tone Mu Feng ever heard, "Feng, get you espionage team." Mu Feng's espionage team was the sharpest and the most excellent detective and spy team in the world. Many times, this team helped Interpol and FBI. Mu family don't use them regularly. The team members had their own lives. They kept their identities secret and had different types of jobs. When they were called, they put aside their side jobs and worked till they get final result. What? my espionage team? Is my brother all right? Mu Feng screamed in his mind. Though, he could understand his brother's feeling a little bit. At least, Mu Feng found Qiang. However, his sister-in-law had just vanished without a trace. Okay, big brother. I'll call them immediately. Mu Feng pulled out his cell phone. I'll give you 1 day. Dismiss. Mu Liang curtly said as he left his office room. Mu Feng sat on the sofa with a plop sound and murmured, I hope we get Sister Lan Lan in 1 day. However, in 1 day, they couldn't find Mu Lan. In the past few hours neither the special force nor the espionage team did take rest. Most of their heads started to spin. Seeing the subordinates being tortured like this, Mu Feng couldn't take it anymore and gave them 8 hours rest. In 8 hours, Mu Feng and Hugo could do whatever they could to search Mu Lan. 2 nights later, head butler Leo called Mu Feng to come home as soon as possible. Getting worried, Mu Feng left the office. After he went home, he saw his big brother finish 10 bottles of whiskey and wine. They were Mu Feng's most treasured pieces. However, Mu Feng could not get angry. He took his bother to Mu Liang's room. For the first time, Mu Feng thought that they needed a capsule lift in the mansion. Mu Feng sympathetically told his brother, Big brother, if it is him who took her and she regains her memory. Shut up. Mu Liang coldly stopped his brother not to say the cruel words. Big brother, don't be hard to yourself. Mu Feng said as his heart broke to see his handsome big brother act like this. Find her first. Then we'll talk about her memory. After that, Mu Liang said no words. It was already 6th day since Mu Lan was abducted. However, no one found her trail. She wasn't even found in other countries. However, Mu Feng didn't back down. He instructed his special team to go to the islands to find her. Mu Liang was already gone to look for Mu Lan. He didn't listen to his brother and went on his own. Mu Feng took care of the search for Mu Lan. His secretary took care of the matters of the underworld and the office works were monitored by Zhu Long. For a business purpose, Mu Feng had to attend the party. He took Qiang with him. There, in the party, the second Mu couple met Qi Yang and Qi Zheming. Both of them looked utterly surprised to see their Qi princess with Mu Feng. Qi Yang immediately handled his expression. But his eyes were full of happiness and confusion at the same time. On the other hand, Qi Zheming was speechless. Soon he became pale. Mu Feng didn't give much of a thought. He thought that maybe his future father-in-law didn't know about his daughter and Mu Feng's relationship. Maybe the old guy was regretting. Though he thought that, the espionage team found it suspicious and immediately investigated things further. Soon, they came up with some results. After 6 days of torture, they finally produced some result. Excitedly they called Mu Feng. Boss, we got some news for you. If you find any errors, ads pop-up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 155, to the dearest readers. Chapter 155, to the dearest readers. Writing is my passion. I began writing poems since I was 5 to 6 years old. I wrote many poems regarding my relatives' characteristics. Those were hilarious. My first novel took 3 years to finish. That time I still was in middle school. It is funny because I didn't even know what a novel actually was back then. I'm an art teacher and a volunteer in an NGO where I work for free. I'm also learning playing piano. My dream is to go abroad to study and achieve my goals and get my freedom. I never dreamed of pursuing my career in writing. Until one day. My mom told me that she would not help me to go abroad. She also forbid me to ask help from my father. Few days later, my father told me that if I wanted to act on my own, then I had to leave their house. I'm well used to with their attitude and I didn't feel hopeless. Their attitude made me to think about myself more, and I wanted to develop my skill in various fields. That moment when they wanted me to leave, I suddenly realized I need money, a lot, to survive and to fulfill my dream. I don't want to be a slave of others. And I have no desire to hand over my freedom to others as well. So with the idea getting from my boss, I started writing in web novel. However, I never dreamed of being in top 20. Moreover, I never thought of getting supported from numerous readers. As I have no guide in my writing career, so my readers' critics and praises are blessing to me. I'm grateful to all of you who made me come this far. Even though I have so much to do, I get inspired by the comments of my readers. And it gives me energy to go on. Dear readers, I need your support and love. Because of you, I can still dream about my freedom. So please, support Handsome CEO's darling wife after it goes to premium. With love. Flow07. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 156, A Camouflage Shirt. Chapter 156, A Camouflage Shirt. Mu Lan woke up and found everything around her was dark. She was in a soft bed and her body was covered with quilt. She adjusted her eyes in the dark and slowly she could see where she was. Apparently, she saw an unfamiliar ceiling. She looked at her left side from where the soft light was coming. She took her time to get up from the bed and went close to the large window. From there she could see seashore. It was dark night and the sky was cloudy. The ocean was restless. High waves were crashing on the shore. Mu Lan had no time to be mesmerized by the beauty of the sea. As she felt cold, she looked at her dress and her heart immediately shook. Mu Lan was wearing a camouflage shirt. It was large enough to cover her upper thigh. It had a strong manly odor. Mu Lan was used to smell Mu Liang's manly scent. Other than that, she never had any experience in other smell, especially men. She also knew that Mu Liang didn't had a shirt like that. Mu Liang's casual homely shirt were also high quality. Then whose shirt is it? She thought. For some reason, Mu Lan's heart started to beat crazily. She remembered what happened when she was at the ball. She walking in the garden and suddenly someone grabbed her from behind and covered her nose and lips with a small piece of cloth. She smelt a sweet perfume and lost consciousness. Does that mean I got kidnapped, just like Xiaoying? Mu Lan's whole body trembled as she thought that. Mu Lan had a short amount of idea about what happened to Qiying. However, she only had the basic idea because neither Qiying nor Mu Liang did tell her anything details. Then the next thing which caught her was, why am I wearing a shirt? Where is my gown? She did not want to think that someone changed her clothes and saw her body. She clutched her own body. Tears slowly formed in her eyes. Mu Lan took some deep breaths and calmed her nerves. She held the shirt up to see if her underwear was also taken or not. Fortunately, the kidnapper didn't touch her undergarments. She sighed in relief. She repeatedly told herself, I need to escape. I need to escape. No matter what. Even though Mu Lan wanted to flee from here, she knew nothing of this place. She also didn't know when she was kidnapped. Mu Lan looked around. It was a master bedroom. The bedroom was large and spacious. It had a simple decoration, but all the furniture were expensive. She first thought of using the window. But the window was specially made and it had no lock to open. If she were to break it, then if the kidnapper or the kidnappers were in the house, in this silent night, they would wake up in the strong glass shattering sound. Mu Lan found 2 doors. She opened one door and found out that it was the toilet. It was covered with white tiles. She looked at the small window and was disappointed. She could never fit in the window, let alone escape. She opened the other door and saw a dark corridor. Mu Lan walked cautiously as she walked in the dark. She wasn't wearing any shoes. Therefore, her bare feet didn't make any sound. It was good that in this house, there was no vase or any decoration piece. If there was, Mu Lan would have woke up the whole house with earth-shattering sound. Breaking things in the middle of the night rang like church bell. After a while, Mu Lan found stairs to go down. She went downstairs and found out that she was in the first floor, which meant the bedroom was in the second floor. When she looked at the outside of the window from the bedroom, she thought that it was third floor. So when she went to the first floor, she was a bit surprised. However, her astonishment didn't last long. She found the glass door. Her heart leapt with joy. Carefully she looked around and didn't find anything suspicious. She soundlessly took large steps and went close to the door. Mu Lan touched the knob and found it unlock unexpectedly. She gently opened the door and the smell of ocean rushed in her face. Feeling joy, she took a step out of the house. Just then, she heard a cold, chilling voice. "Aren't you brave enough? If you find any errors, ads pop-up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible." Chapter 157, The Man in Black. Chapter 157, The Man in Black. The man in black kept his eyes on the ball. He was looking for Qi-ying. In truth, he had no interest in girls. He was only listening to his father's wish. For business purpose, this man in black had to marry Qi-ying. He heard that this Ying girl is called Beauty. Either way, he had no interest in her. His father gave him some pictures of her. He never once saw those. To him, women were artificial. They were not faithful. Before kidnapping, he only once saw Qi-ying's picture, which made him feel disgusted. She had an innocent look on her face. She was timid and mild, like a true princess. Qi-ying's character was totally different from what the man in black liked. So he was even less interested after he saw the picture. Regardless, as his father said to take her away, and they had to be very careful because the king of the European underworld was attracted to her. The man in black looked around the ball with his cold gaze. The thing he didn't expect was that everyone would wear ancient dresses. It made this job even more difficult. Curse that gemming! How come he forgot to give me the details? He gritted his teeth. He scoffed at his bad luck and kept looking at the ball, searching for his so-called bride. Few minutes later, his luck seemed to be generous enough to find him a girl. She was wearing a revealing dress. She wore a strong perfume, making him almost fainted. He took him time to read her. He understood that she was that type of girl which he hated most. As she came closer, he sneaked behind and grabbed her. As usual, she was afraid at first but soon relaxed as she heard that he was looking for Qi-ying. He could tell that this girl understood that he had no good intentions. Still, she helped him to find her. He sneered in mind. Women are disgusting, he thought. As his luck favored him, he found his target soon walking in the garden. He thanked his good luck and captured her without hesitation. As he thought, this bride of his was quite stupid. He took her in the dark. Before he left, he didn't forget to brainwash Anne's memory. Then threw her like a trash. He disliked her from the beginning. When he took his so-called bride to the wall, he took off her gown. It was certainly heavy. After taking it off, he realized that she was lighter than he actually thought. He was kind of amazed to see her figure. She was certainly a gorgeous lady. For the first time, his heart beat faster than usual to see a girl. Looking at her black hair, he frowned. In the garden, he couldn't see her hair color because of darkness. So you changed your hair color? So fake. Of course, he trusted Anne and thought it was his future bride. Changing hair color was not a big deal nowadays. He started to dislike her even more. He took her in the car, put her on his camouflage shirt and waited for his friend, who soon joined him and told that his work was done. He was as IT expert. They drove the car to TH Corporation and took helicopter to the Chi family's beach house. As he took Mu Liang to the master bathroom and waited for the signal. The ocean was rather destructive tonight. They couldn't take the helicopter to their boat because it would be suspicious. They had to wait until they got the signal from the boat. He was happy that the sky was cloudy. Satellite would have hard time to catch them. He was waiting on the drawing room and his friend was taking a nap in the guest room. Suddenly he heard light footsteps in the upstairs. His cold lips stretched lightly. He soundlessly got up and hid himself in the dark. He wanted to see what she could do. Soon she came on the first floor and opened the door. Smell of salty water hit his nose. As soon as she took a step outside, he had to stop playing with her. If the satellite caught her, that would be a huge problem. With a playful tone he asked, "Aren't you brave enough?" If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 158, I Trusted You. Chapter 158, I Trusted You. Aren't you brave enough? There was a playful tone in the question. Mu Liang jumped in surprise. She was so spooked that her soul nearly left her heart. She looked behind her and found a man in black clothes. In the dark, he looked tall and sturdy. He was lazily standing beside the sofa. Mu Liang calmed her heart and frowned. "Who are you?" The man in black laughed. In Mu Liang's ears, his laugh sounded lifeless. Her body shivered. Even in the dark, the man could see her trembling. The man replied, "I'm your future husband." Mu Liang was dumbfounded. This guy was certainly not Liang. Maybe he is my previous lover or fiancé? That's the reason Liang hid my identity. But why? Mu Liang thought. Even in this serious time, it was a hilarious situation. Both of them misunderstood and thought each other someone else. "What is your name?" Mu Liang asked. As she thought of her real future husband, she wanted to know everything about him and her. The man in front of her frowned. That wasn't what he thought, that the way she would react. He thought that she would cry and shiver in fright. She would ask him why he abducted her. She might also beg him to release her. However, she unexpectedly asked his name. "Isn't it too late for the introduction? I know that you already heard about me from your father," the man said in cold tone. It is clear that she is stupid. When I told her that I'm her future husband, she should have understood. The guy thought in disdain. It was true that Qi Ying's father Qi Zheming already told Ying about her so-called future husband. But it wasn't something Mu Liang knew. Mu Liang was surprised to hear him. "So I have a family. My father introduced us. It must be an arranged marriage. But Liang utterly lied to me. He said that I had no family." Why did he lie? Mu Liang had mixed feelings. She was happy to know that she had a family, and she was upset that Liang and brother Feng lied to her. She really trusted them. Mu Liang wanted to know more. She didn't want him to know that she lost her memory. So she asked in the roundabout way, "Do you only know my family or the others too?" While asking, she couldn't control her excitement. The man's frown deepened as he saw her excitement. He thought, what the hell is going on? Did I misjudge her? Nonetheless, he replied, I also know your mother and elder brother. So, I have an elder brother too? They must have been worried sick that I was out for so long. Mu Liang felt upset. She asked, where are we? She wanted to know if she was going to her family. We are in your family beach house in Le Havre. The ocean behind you is English Channel. He replied. He felt so stupid to tell her about her own villa. What is wrong with her? Why is she so calm? And how come she can't recognize her own beach house? He could not understand the situation anymore. He had seen plenty of girls. But this was the first time someone acted out of character and out of situation. It was frustrating that he could not read her mind at all. Oh, so we are in my family property. It can only mean that my family is involved in it. Understanding the situation, Mu Liang felt relief. Why are we here? Shouldn't we go? Mu Liang wanted to know when they were going to her house. The man was utterly speechless. He could not understand her anymore. How could she did not protest, not even one? Didn't she love her boyfriend? Or maybe, that king of the European underworld was forcing her to obey him. We will head back to China after the sea becomes calm. You should go back and rest. The man said. His head hurt after talking to her. So I lived in China. My family is there. So this is the reason Liang didn't want me to go to China. Mu Liang felt bad. For some reason, her heart had a tiny pain after thinking about Mu Liang's betrayal. Liang, I trusted you. She looked at the ocean. Her eyes filled with sorrow. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 159, Sleep Well. Chapter 159, Sleep Well. Mu Liang looked at the ocean with her sorrowful eyes. Is she regretting her marriage with me? The guy thought. For some reason, he felt displeased as he thought of that. It's not that I'm going to make you my prisoner. After marriage, you can come back to see your family, he said in an irritated tone. Mu Liang caught what he just said. Come back to see my family? She was confused. My family lives here? She looked at the guy and said, I want to meet my family. The man looked at her in the weirdest way and asked her, don't you hate your family? Mu Liang was even more confused. And why would I do that? She asked him back. Didn't they disown you because you didn't want to marry me? Anyone would be upset. The guy was literally stunned. They disowned me? I didn't want to marry him? Did I like someone else? Her head was spinning after thinking all that. She recalled a cold man from her dream. I want to go back to my home, Mu Liang firmly said. She really wanted to meet her family that she didn't see for all these months. She also wanted to clarify the situation. Everything became clear to the guy. So, she wants to go back, and for that she is acting all goody two shoes. She deserves an Oscar. Really, women are so disgusting. He sneered. I'm sorry to say that your family told us to take you to China. They'll meet us at our wedding ceremony. He lied. Not to make Mu Feng suspicious, Xi Jiaming decided not to contact them for now. Mu Liang didn't like his domineering tone. A kind of obstinacy weighted on her shoulders. She persistently said, I want to meet my family first. Her whole body turned rigid in obduracy. Showing your true color now. But it won't work. The guy mocked. He was astonished to see her stubbornness. A little while ago, he didn't see that coming. Looks like she got some tricks in her sleeves. He thought. What do you mean true color? What's wrong in wishing to meet my own family? Mu Liang sternly asked. Ha? A meek girl showing her strong will? The guy was totally taken aback at her strong behavior. Do you think I'm stupid enough to believe that you don't hate your family after they tried to knot us even when we drugged you to death? He asked coldly. He had seen many drama queens in his life, but he never saw someone as shameless as her. Drug me? They drugged me? Why does it seem so familiar? Mu Liang frowned. Why did you drug me? She carefully asked. The guy would never tell her the reason they drugged her. He roared, "Enough! Go to your room." His commanding voice was as sharp as the blade. His subordinates would almost wet their pants when they would hear his sharp voice. Mu Lan was also a human. After waking up from coma, she was treated like a princess. No one used high tone when they talked to her. After hearing his voice, she jumped in fright and her eyes filled up with tears. But she was stubborn enough not to cry. For some reason, Liang's tender and warm face floated in her mind. Few minutes ago, she was blaming him, and now she wanted to see him badly. The guy clearly saw her body was shaking. But she didn't budge from the spot. It felt like a teacher was scolding a naughty student and the student didn't want to listen to the teacher. He lost all his patience. He growled as he came forward while saying, "Didn't you hear what I just said?" Mu Lan was frightened to death. It was dark. She couldn't see him properly. But his growl was like an animal. Before she could think of anything, she turned and ran towards the open door. But the guy had good reflex. Before she could step outside, he held her against him. Mu Lan straggled with her powerless body. She learnt a few moves from Yen Su. So, she tried to use them. But the guy had the strength of a gorilla. He didn't budge at all. He held her in one hand and another one was in his pocket. He took out a syringe. Using his teeth, he took off the cap and pushed the syringe on her neck. The liquids went inside Mu Lan's bloodline. Mu Lan's eyes became heavy and her body became paralyzed. Before she passed out, she heard him saying, "Sleep well, Nising. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible." Chapter 160, Should I change the shirt? Chapter 160, Should I change the shirt? Mu Lan passed out and collapsed in his arms. He sighed. That was close. He thought. What's going on? He heard a sleepy voice from behind. He looked back. "Meishu, prepare the luggage." The man in black ordered. "Xin, have you already injected her the drug? Did you overdose her? Last time she almost died. Don't kill her this time. If you don't want her, you can always share her with me." The man called Meishu said. The stubborn yet weak solitude floated in the man in black's eyes. His eyes turned cold. "Prepare the luggage," he commanded his friend Meishu. Meishu called him Xin. Meishu saluted and playfully said, "Yes, Major General." Then he clicked his tongue and told himself, that guy has no sense of humor. When Meishu brought the luggage, he saw that Xin was covering Mu Lan's lips with silver tape. He sighed. This girl has a bad luck getting a husband like him. They didn't turn on the lights to raise suspicion. They used Xin's torchlight. Meishu opened the luggage and Xin put Mu Lan's unconscious body there. Xin folded her naked legs and Meishu whistled. Xin glared at him. Meishu immediately stopped. Xin closed the luggage but it was a little open to pass oxygen. Meishu carried the luggage to the dock. Meishu was already wearing a business attire. Xin also changed his clothes. There was a speedboat. Xin started the engine and they left the beach house. Xin turned the speedboat towards southwest. They crossed Spain and reached close to Portugal. Cold wind made them shiver. In the northern Atlantic Ocean, there was a two-storied luxurious boat waiting for them. From the luxurious boat, two men saw the speedboat coming to their way. They signaled with green light. Xin's lips stretched lightly. As they reached the luxurious boat, a guy came closer and took the luggage. He didn't salute but said in a low voice, "Major General." Xin nodded to the guy in reply. He walked like a normal businessman and so did Meishu. If Mu Feng's people used satellite to observe them, they would think that it was a normal business boat. Xian already instructed his solders to act like civilians. Their outfits were also casual. The luxurious boat swiftly passed through the waters of Portugal and turned to the east. It straight went to the strait between Spain and Morocco, called Gibraltar Strait, and soon entered the Mediterranean Sea. The weather was warmer here. Meishu asked, "Don't you want to open the luggage? What if she dies without oxygen?" "She won't. Moreover, why bother doing that anyway?" Xian replied as he lit up a cigarette. "How can you be so cruel to your future wife? She is such a beauty." Meishu felt pity for Mu Lan. Xian interrupted, "She is an idiot and a drama queen." Meishu protested, "There is no way she is like that. I heard many rumors about her, and nothing was like that." Xian sneered, "What are you? A woman? How can you believe rumors?" Meishu bickered, "And how can a major general be so prejudiced? Unbelievable." He left the balcony and went inside. Xian only looked at the black ocean and recalled tonight's event. "Yeah, she acted different than I thought," he thought. The boat crossed the Red Sea and reached Somalia. There, a private plane was waiting for them beneath the open sky. They bribed the owner of the land some time ago. It was all well planned. They took the luggage on the plane. Meishu gifted the boat to the landlord and then the plane took off with 5 men and a luggage. Actually, they could cross the Atlantic Ocean and could fly over South America and the Pacific Ocean. But it would be risky without even landing once. The boat or the plane would take lots of fuel too. And if they had landed, they would have to show their legal papers which they didn't have. Mu Feng could catch them easily. So they took the other route. They reached China in no time. However, their plane didn't land at the airport. Close to China, there was a small island. They took the plane there and landed safely. There was a mansion with high security. It was a private island of Xian's father which was gifted to him by his great-grandfather. Xian's father loved to stay in this place more than anyone. Xian took the luggage in the mansion. There was a room beside his bedroom. He took the luggage there and opened it. Mu Lan was still sleeping. Xian placed her on the bed and thought, "Should I change the shirt?" If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 161, That Bitch Lied to Me. Chapter 161, That Bitch Lied to Me. When Mu Lan woke up, her whole body was aching. She frowned in pain. "What did he do to me?" Mu Lan tried to recall the past incidents. She was at the ball, then she was kidnapped, after that, she was on a beach house, later when she tried to leave, a guy caught her, then she had been injected by some kind of drug and now she was here. Wait. Didn't he say, "Sleep well, missing"? I heard it clearly. There is no way that I mistook it. Mu Lan bit her lips. A sudden realization hit her. He said Miss Ing. Ing as if Chi-ing. She is disowned because she didn't agree to the forced marriage. That's what he was talking about. Did he think I was Chi-ing? Is he stupid? How do I look like Xiaoying in the first place? Mu Lan rolled in the bed as she felt frustration came over her. Liang, I bad-mouthed you. I'm sorry, she said in a sad tone. Mu Lan looked around her. Where am I? It was already 4 and the sun was setting down. The sunlight was illuminating in orange hue. The room was small. There was a simple bed on which she was laying, a wardrobe, a tea table, and a chair. There was a small window through which Mu Lan could never fit. Mu Lan sighed. She got up and moved the quilt away from her. Then she gasped. Mu Lan was wearing a white shirt. She hugged herself. He did this again. She gritted her teeth. Her face was red in shame. You are awake. Good morning. A voice came from the door. Xin was smoking in the balcony. Meishu came and joined him. Did she wake up? Meishu asked. No. I overdosed her. Xin replied. Dude, you are so heartless. It's been 2 days already. You even put her in the luggage for 30 hours. Can't you be a bit softer to her? Meishu was displeased to see his friend's attitude towards a beautiful girl. He worshipped beauty. He thought that Xin was lucky to have one. However, Xin's actions surprised and did upset him at the same time. Xin sneered, maybe I should hand her over to you. Since when did you become so generous? Meishu mocked Xin. Since when did you become so dirty that after almost 2 days of the journey you didn't even take a bath? Xin asked in disdain. He could smell Meishu's sweat from 1,000 miles. I'm leaving. You go and see if she is awake by now. Meishu left the balcony while trying to smell his armpit. Disgusting. Xin murmured. I can hear you, Meishu said from the door. Xin said nothing and went towards Mu Liang's room. In this house, Xin's room was on the 2nd floor and there was a storeroom beside his room. He ordered to decorate the room so that Mu Liang could stay there before their marriage. Xin silently opened the door and saw the beauty move the quilt and then gasped lightly. She was looking at the shirt she was wearing. The door was on the east side where the bed was. So he couldn't see her expression. But he could see her ears turn red. Is she embarrassed? Xin thought. Then he said, You are awake. Good morning. His tone was full of sarcasm. Mu Liang was startled to hear a sudden voice. She turned around and saw a guy standing beside the door. She knew the voice. It was him who told her, Sleep well, Miss Ng. Her face was red in shame. But her eyes had a stern gaze. Xin was taken aback to see her eyes full of rage. Then something else caught his eyes. Your eyes are black. He frowned. Mu Liang gave a sarcastic smile. She already knew that this man abducted the wrong person. She replied, Sure, they are. Xin came closer and asked, Why are they black? Are you wearing color lenses? These are natural. Mu Liang said. Xin grabbed her neck and used pressure. Mu Liang's face turned pale, but she still had a smile on her lips. Her eyes flashed. Can't you see? You made a huge mistake. I'm not showing. Mu Liang said as her oxygen ran out. Sweat formed on her forehead and both temples. Who are you then? Xin asked in a cold voice. I am Mu Liang. Xiaoying is my friend. Mu Liang could hardly breathe. Xin mercilessly threw her on the bed and cursed in fury. Stormily, he went out of the room and locked the door. Xin went to his room and kicked his wooden chair. It flew close to the bathroom door. That bitch lied to me. He cursed and with all his might. Later, Xin took a cold shower to cool his head. Then he opened his table drawer and found an envelope which his father gave to him. He took out the photos and saw Qi Ying's elegant and timid pictures. She looked like a doll. Xin threw the photos on the table. He recalled Mu Liang's face. At night, he couldn't see her expression. But, today her face was clear. Her black, transparent eyes glowed. Her neck was hurting. Her forehead was sweating. But still, she smiled sarcastically. Even if she was afraid, she did not let it show. What was the name she said it was? He remembered what she told him, My name is Mu Liang. Mu Liang. He murmured the name repeatedly. Who is Mu Lan? It seems to be a girl. It was Meishu from the door. He took a bath. The smell of soap filled the air. The girl we abducted, she is called Mu Lan, Xin replied without even looking. What? How is that possible? How can you make such idiotic mistake? Meishu's eyes almost popped out of the sockets. Xin said nothing. He was thinking something else. What are we going to do now? We can't kidnap Chiang now when she gets alerted. We kidnapped her classmate. Oh, wait, did you just say her name is Mu Lan? Her family name is Mu? We are so dead. Mu Feng will hunt us down to find his family member. Meishu blabbered all he could say. Mu Feng is not that close to his other family members. I think it will be okay. Xin said. Meishu asked, are you sure? We have to send her back either way. I'll drug her to forget whatever happened. No need. I got a better idea. Xin said as his eyes flashed. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 162, Do you call yourself a human? Chapter 162, Do you call yourself a human? Mu Lan's whole body shook in pain as Xin threw her mercilessly on the bed. She didn't make a single sound. When Xin left, Mu Lan curved her body. Her body was trembling. Her neck was aching. She gasped as she inhaled oxygen. Her face was red and sweaty. Mu Lan kept thinking, how rude. He made the mistake, and yet, he is punishing me. At least he could say sorry and could sincerely offer me some food. Her stomach growled. Liang, I miss you so much. Mu Lan wailed in her heart. Mu Liang had been always kind towards Mu Lan. He never hurt her. He took care of her for 9 months when she was in coma. He admitted her to a school. She could study her favorite subject because of Mu Liang. Mu Lan clutched the quilt under her. She was missing him terribly. An hour later, someone opened the door of her room. Mu Lan didn't even look. She sat on the bed elegantly. I want some food, she said like a commanding princess. Mu Lan's plan was to gain enough energy before she could flee from here.